Drowning in Sand, Chapter 1, The Convalescence by the Sea, Part 7, the last part. The doctor walks over to his bag and reaches in and finds 2 pill containers, opens each of them and drops 2 from one bottle into his hand and promptly tosses them to his mouth and starts to munch them, and then takes 3 from the other bottle, hesitates, takes 2 more and puts those in his pants pocket, and then hands the containers over to Map, who puts them in his lap between quick shots of pain down his legs, which he pretends to ignore, but the pain is obvious. Those are for you, and the dog, and the woman, whatever, whoever. The pale, hot pink poodle hobbles over on her 3 legs and starts to lick his hand. The doctor smiles down at the dog and looks back at Map and continues, whatever you want to do with them, actually. The doctor walks over to Map, then smacks himself on the forehead. Oh, yes, I must. Then he reaches into his bag and he pulls out a handheld scanner. I must scan your bracelet for those. Map holds out his arm. The doctor leans in with the scanner. It beeps and chimes in acceptance, and the doctor squints his eye and looks closer, then asks Map, Matt? No, it's a typo. They never can get things right. No, the dreadlocks chuckle. No, they can't, can they? The doctor laughs jovially. Spit flies from his mouth. Sand falls from his beard's dreads. No offense, doctor. None taken. He laughs again. The dreadlocks seemingly smile. He has his bag in his hand. He takes a final look out the window and says, I used to love it here. And then he looks back to the woman in the tub and then at Map and says, but now, I don't mind a visit, but I wouldn't live here. No offense. None taken. You know, Map, and I really must be going. I can only be here for so long according to the regs, but I'm glad you're here to take advantage of the units. Yeah? Why, yes, of course. That's why they are here. To help people like you. I thought they were just here because the shoreline was so messed up that no one else wanted to come here anymore. There's just no more use for it. Oh, well, we found a perfect use for it now, haven't we? Speechless? I don't see how. We, and I say we literally, not only do I work down here daily helping, but I was one of the doctors nominated to be on the committee to get this ball rolling. Really? Map says. The doctor continues. But of course, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. And I wouldn't lie to you. What would be the point of that? Don't answer. There would be no point. But, yes. Yes, you can all thank me and my colleagues. We saw a problem, we saw a need, and then, well, what do you think we saw? What's that, Doc? A solution. I'm nothing if not pragmatic. You say so, Doc. We saw a ruined, empty shoreline, deserted for a handful of years, a once thriving place where we all used to love to go. But no more, no more. The people turned and left. And why? The trash line? Well, that's one reason, yeah, Matt. But who goes to the ocean anymore? I wouldn't. But if you're down here recovering, convalescing, well, you wouldn't even be able to get in there if it was clean enough to go in. I see, I think. I mean, Map, why have all these people dying? Why have all these people dying in hospitals and hospices in the city with nothing to look at? No morning sunrise over the ocean, no evening sunset over the sound, and the stars. Craps of fate, you just can't see stars in the cities anymore. Well, Doc, you really can't see them here either. Huh? The smog. But Map, it's still better than in the cities. Maybe. Okay. Maybe. No, I've seen the data, Map. I've seen the research. Remember, I was on the committee that helped set this all back up then. But Doc, it's gotten worse. Every year. Noticeably worse. I don't know about that. But as I was saying, Map, it is best for everyone. Best for the patients, best for the staff, and it's the best use of the land here and there. Here and there. The vacation houses here are used for hospices, and the hospices in the city are being torn down, and nice new homes are being built in their places. The money is moving from the vacation houses at the shore back to the city. Hospices. I thought this was supposed to be convalescence homes. Did I say hospices? Yes. Are you sure? I'm not supposed to use that word with the patients and the units. It must be those pills we took. Loose lips sink ships, don't they now, Map? But, Map, we found it best. We found it was best the use of the land, the resources, as we know best. Yes, yes. And that's what we do. So we help out those who don't know best. And we put you all in a place I personally loved as a child. Doc, that was a long time ago when you were a child. Heck, it was a long time ago when I was a child, and you're old enough to be my father. Well, fact is a fact, and a shoreline is a shoreline. There are a lot worse places to be. I'm glad we can get all of you together, out of those cities, into these units. As I've said, we've thought for a while now that this is best for everyone. Everyone, sick and well, patients and doctors, nurses and family, healing and dying. I see, Doc. It's nice to have you down here, Map. I really hope you feel better soon. Somehow. Yeah, so do I. The sour smell comes in through the cracked door again. The rising sun illuminates the trash line. The doctor starts to walk out of the room. Well, good luck to you, Map. Take some of those pills, but save some for the dog. The doctor puts on his hat. And call me if you need me. Then he spins slowly and walks out of the room, and Map can hear the heavy footsteps going down the hallway, passing the 2 closed bedroom doors and the 2 open bedroom doors, and then the front door of the unit opens and it slams shut. It is quiet now, save for the wind and a shriek of a gull here and there. He wheels his chair back over to the door and watches the sun come up. His head is exhausted, his heart is still pumping too fast from the doctor's pills. He opens the door as far as it will go, letting in some of the grime and the wind. Particles of dirt and smoke are landing on Miss Nefershi, giving her a slightly grayer complexion, almost a corpse-like hue. Except for her burps and snores and her ongoing constant expansion, you would think she was a corpse. His feet are now sticking out the door, hovering over the deck a couple of inches above the deck. His feet rest in the wheelchair's footrests. The rain from last night has stopped, but puddles are on the deck. The puddles are a brownish orange in the early morning light. He looks down to the beach. Some buckets and trash bags have washed up overnight. There's a rusting truck that appears to have been left on the beach a couple of years ago. Sick gulls are picking at the carcasses of dead cousin gulls on the blood and oil-stained beach. The trash line lingers just beyond the waves, the white-capped waves with floating junk and dying fish. The beach is empty now, like it always is. And Map sits and stares out to the horizon at that burning freighter. He turns his head south, and he thinks he sees, yes, it is, there's another one. It'll be on the news later today. These deserted ships always make a headline for a week or less, but not like they did at first. The dog, the pink bitch, has fallen asleep again next to the tub. Its master is snoring and gaining weight. The rancid wind blows and blows. The waves are getting bigger. The dunes are getting smaller, and the trash line is getting wider and deeper. Map looks away from the new ship out there towards the other ship. Their ship, almost as it is, where he wants to die because the pain is going everywhere over his body now. His legs, down his left arm into his finger, his private parts even hurt. He holds his breath, his chest hurts. He ends up coughing, hacking up some brown goo which he spits out into the wet deck. There is a cough in reply from Ehab Sawal. After a minute or so, the coughing stops. Map wheels himself back in, closes the sliding door, and looks over at the slumbering giant in her cesspool, and then at the unnaturally pink poodle. Both are now snoring. He wheels himself out of the room, past a knee reconstruction surgery on the medical TV, and down the hall past Ehab's room, where he hears another dry cough, and then past Tanya's room, where he hears nothing, and he goes into his own room. He stops his wheelchair next to his bed, places the pill containers the doctor gave him onto the institutional bedside table, and then he prepares himself mentally for the agonizing process of getting up from the chair and into his bed. He sits there for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and he's getting ready to get into bed, getting ready to maybe throw up on himself again, and he hears the morning wind whipping around the corner of the house. He starts to stand up. To get in bed, he wants to dream about convalescing by the sea. In his dreams, and only in his dreams, it is only sometimes painless. Sometimes, but not always, not usually. And outside of the unit, the wind is screaming and howling. The wind is shrieking and spitting. The wind is laughing as it rapes the beach, and the nasty waves are encouraging it, waiting their turn. Waiting but not patiently, brooding like a drunk and well-armed militia, waiting to topple an aloof leader, unconcerned about consequences, sure of success. This is now, and this is how it is, and there's no going back.